The Ever So Lean podcast.
Extra!
You know it makes sense.
Welcome to Ever So Lean Extra, where we serve up an extra dose of excellence. I'm Matt Sims, and I'll be your host as we dive deep into the heart of the UK Excellence Awards. In Season 1, we're immersing ourselves in the prestigious British Quality Foundation as we look inside the UK Excellence Awards, an event that epitomises innovation, quality and sheer excellence on a monumental scale. Imagine a platform where industry leaders, influencers and visionaries converge to celebrate the pinnacle of achievement in business. But we're not just spectators, we're rolling up our sleeves and diving headfirst into each award category. From the judges who meticulously study every submission to the sponsors who lend their support, from the finalists who embody excellence to the winners who stand triumphant. We'll hear from them all. Why do they get involved and what secrets do they hold for achieving excellence? It's all here on Ever So Lean Extra as we uncover the stories behind the glitz and glamour, delving deep into the minds of those who make this event truly spectacular. Picture this, Wembley Stadium, Thursday the 27th of March 2025, because that's where we're heading for the next awards. The UK Excellence Awards are the Oscars of the business world, a star-studded affair buzzing with innovation and inspiration. It's where brilliance meets recognition, where hard work meets its well-deserved spotlight. Ever So Lean Extra is your inside scoop to the most prestigious event in the business calendar. Welcome to Ever So Lean Extra, where excellence really does take centre stage. Transformation excellence stands as the paramount accolade at the prestigious UK Excellence Awards, spotlighting organisations that have orchestrated significant shifts in their operational paradigms, thereby enhancing value for both customers and employees. Whether through cultural revamps, process optimisations, system overhauls, or a blend of these elements, contenders vie for this honour with tales of remarkable metamorphoses. The category transcends specific methodologies or frameworks, welcoming entries rooted in well-structured, meticulously considered approaches that yield sustainable impacts. In this episode, we delve into the narratives of the 2023 laureates. We'll meet Jade Wilcox from Wilcox Limousines, who regales us with the gripping saga of her family's business transformation journey, its trials, triumphs, and the invaluable lessons learned along the way to winning this prestigious award at the 2023 UK Excellence Awards. But before diving into the captivating narratives, we take a moment to delve into the symbolic relationship between the UK Excellence Awards and Strathclyde Business School. In an enlightening conversation, I sit down with Katie Ballantyne, not only as a representative of Strathclyde Business School, but also as a judge in the Transformation Excellence category itself. Together, we explore the synergies between these two esteemed entities and shed light on how Strathclyde's sponsorship of the Transformation Excellence Award serves to enrich both the institution and the broader business community.
The Ever So Lean podcast.
Extra!
You know it makes sense.
I am absolutely overjoyed to welcome Katie from Strathclyde Business School to the show. Hello, Katie.
Hello, Matt.
Hello, very broad Scottish accent there.
It's my very best pronunciation, non-Scottish accent for you. Yeah,
Is that your posh
my posh accent.
So, we're not here to talk about our accents. Katie was heavily involved in the UK Excellence Awards in 2023. Not only was she a judge in the Transformation Excellence category, she was also a sponsor. Well, Strathclyde Business School was the sponsor via Katie. So much to talk about because you were so heavily involved. Perhaps we should start off with being a judge. I know it's an incredibly difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
Share some of your story with us about some of the things that you learned on the judging panel.
It's a fantastic experience, isn't it? It's you get to spend a big chunk of the day listening to how fantastic people are and how much of a journey different organisations have been on. And it's it's a really nice way to spend
Yeah.
some time. And till it comes to the judging part where you have to make a really difficult decision,
hard.
that's a little bit more challenging. And thankfully joined by some other colleagues and others from BQF to help with that process, which was good. It's really enlightening to see what is happening in industry. Obviously, we sit in academia and we work really closely with industry, but to be able to be exposed to some of those stories and those journeys that organisations and people had been on, it was just lovely to see, to be honest. And there was, I think, my biggest kind of learning and what I took from it, and this definitely impacted who our winner was the different approaches that people took to transformation, or the organisations took to transformation. So I think everybody who came on and told us their story had used particular models or tools, techniques. So that was kind of core within each story. But then we saw that there was differences between how some organisations, the role of transformation maybe sat within a specific department, or some other organisations, we had individuals all had a bit of a bolt on to their job that looked at transformation. And the ones that really stood out for me, and this definitely was the case for our winner, was where transformation became part of the culture of the organisation. And you could feel it as they talked, that everybody was so proud of their role, no matter what level, what their role was. They were an active participant in transformation within the organisation. And they were so proud of the outcome as a result of that, because they've been through all of those steps. So not an add-on, not sitting with another department, but really just fully embedded within the organisational culture. And that was lovely to see.
The way they do things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Common misconception that I come across quite frequently is people say to me, what's the right way to do continuous improvement? And I always say to them, but there isn't really a right way, because every company's different, isn't it? Everywhere is different, and the way you approach it is different. Yeah, sure, the fundamentals like the respect for people and stuff are there. But when you see it becoming the culture and being the way people do the work, for me, that is like the pinnacle of continuous improvement. That's when you can walk away and it carries on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think you could take the leaders out of that organisation, and not just that one, because there was others that were demonstrating this as well, obviously, but you could take them out and the rest of the team would carry on with that transformation without them, because they were on that journey and they fully believed in it, which is it's great.
Brilliant. You come off mentally drained because it is such an emotional buzz, like to hear all the stories, isn't it? You're exhausted at the end of it.
Yeah.
I'd go downstairs, my wife would go, you've been sitting upstairs all day. What are you so tired for? I go, you haven't been where I've been. I feel like Simon Cowell. I've been sitting there making and breaking dreams.
Never thought about it like that. We are X Factor judges, Matt. Yeah, that's it.
You're doing your best Sharon Osbourne.
Yeah.
It's what it's like, though. You feel the pressure.
So. Yeah, and you're sitting there, you're just listening, and the people are presenting. They're the ones that are feeling the pressure, really.
Exactly.
So we're just listening to their story. But there is a bit of a, you've got the fantastic opportunity to make a decision and to award somebody a great prize, which is fantastic, and you want to reward everybody, because everybody that gets to that stage has just done so much amazing work.
Can you imagine doing what they do on X Factor, though, and halfway through the presentation going, can you stop, can you do another one, please? Can you talk about something else, please?
I don't think I could really be an X Factor judge, no.
No, we want to put you through, but we don't like the others, so can the others step to the side and you just do it on your own? Thank you. Oh dear.
Never want to be in a panel that presents to you, Matt.
No, I'll do that just for a laugh now. Let's move on to your other superstar role. And as mentioned before, your other superstar role was as a sponsor. Now, sponsors are super important to the BQF and the UK Excellence Awards, because not only does it bring highlight to the Strathclyde Business School and the other sponsors, but it also adds some much needed funds, because it is a not-for-profit organisation. So that support, I know they're incredibly grateful for the support that's offered. So Transformation Excellence, why did you sponsor this category, and what makes it so important to you?
Probably going to answer a couple of things here for you, actually, Matt, because I think being the headline award around transformational excellence, it ties so closely to BQF. They all do, but it ties to the excellence awards in general. And I think not only did we want to be involved with BQF and the excellence awards, but the transformational excellence was particularly important to us because of how important we see transformation within organisations. So I work within the exec ed, so executive education department within the business school. So we do all of our work is linking with industry. So although we're in academia, you're constantly working with industry partners, and what we pride ourselves on and really want to support organizations with is their transformation journey. So to be able to then sponsor and see some people who've gone through that journey, then that was a no-brainer to us. I guess we selfishly get quite a lot from it because we get all of these fantastic insights into organizations that have gone through transformation, and we can take those back to the classroom and share those with students about how
That's
we've seen
brilliant.
XYZ. I
You
was
can make it real.
yeah, it was great.
That's so cool.
I was a judge, I think, on the Thursday, and I was teaching a managing change and transformation class on the Friday. And I was talking about the awards and BQF and the
That's
fact that
amazing.
here are the different tools that the individuals were using. And we talked very much about, the role of humanity even within all of the different tools and techniques and everything that you said before around, making it fit for the organization, not being one size that fits all. So you're able to take what you've seen on that day and you can put it straight into action in terms of a learning opportunity for other organizations, which is it's great. It's fantastic. And transformation is, when we see people come through, when we see learners, organizations come through individual learning journey, we want to see them transform. So when somebody starts with us, by the time that they finish, they, in our ideal world, will have transformed and be a different individual, different leader.
Mm.
So another opportunity to see that from a different lens is, it's
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah.
I think it's amazing. You've got tomorrow's leaders standing in front of you at the Strathclyde Business School, and then you're sharing with them what's in reality now. So when they go into that work environment, they're kind of already primed for transformation, aren't they? Because you've
Yeah.
given the sort of scenario, this organisation does this organisation did that. What? That's so cool. I think that's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah, it's exciting to be part of. And, learners respond to it really well as well because everything, you try to make it as interactive and fun. And, we've talked about some of the different learning tools that you might use to make things fun, but, just to be able to talk about real life and
Yeah.
the challenges and in those sessions where you are being a judge, you hear all of the challenges. People are really honest about it's not always been plain sailing. So for us to be able to share that with some learners and say, don't expect it to go perfectly. And when things don't go as you plan, that's not always a bad thing. There can be benefits from that as well. It's a fantastic learning experience for us to pass on to learners. It's a good learning experience for us to keep our expertise up to date, and good links obviously with industry.
I'm just looking up the train times to see if I can get a train from the south coast up to Strathclyde Business School because I fancy coming in. This is brilliant. This is so good.
In terms of what people were presenting and the trends, if we're talking about where people looking at the same types of transformations or the same kind of journeys in their operational excellence, no, absolutely different. It was, we probably did expect to sit and hear several presentations that were kind of similar transformation. And we probably thought we were going to hear about digital and data and AI and how people deal with all of those trends that are happening at the
Yeah.
moment. But no, and again, it goes back to what we said before. Everybody's journey on this is so unique. Every organization's journey is so unique that the difference in the stories that we were hearing, they were vast. They were completely
Mm.
different. We had, and even the organizations, we had SMEs through to multinationals. It was really hard to compare them and judge them because they were
Yeah.
so different actually.
Yeah.
That was a real challenge. But it's a really good way to demonstrate that transformation is key in every business at every size, no matter what sector you're working in. And no matter how big or small you think your transformation is or your journey to excellence, it's all important to your organization.
It's brilliant. Why choose to support the UK Excellence Awards specifically?
It is those links with industry. It is really excited to see industry continuing in this excellence journey. It's really exciting from an academic point of view to see models, tools, techniques, theory, and practice. That is fantastic to see,
Yeah.
and it's an exciting thing to be part of for the university. It aligns really nicely with our values around kind of excellence, transformation, people. making sure that there's a good culture that supports all of those values. I think that BQF embodies those. So as much as it is around excellence, it is around the people that you take on that journey as well. And yeah, I think it's just a really nice fit for the university.
What a really interesting insight from Katie from Strathclyde Business School. It's so amazing that we've got real organisations out there working through transformation, doing it in an excellent way, and then immediately after she's been on the judging panel, the next day in fact, she's talking to business students about how they've done it. How good is that? She's actually using real life, relevant examples to help educate tomorrow's business leaders. I just love that. And that for me is the essence of true excellence. We're not only looking after ourselves and our companies right now, but we're actually sort of growing those future leaders as well. Absolutely brilliant. Right, where are we going now? Let's head over to hear from our winner. Wilcox Limousines and Jade Wilcox. Now, Jade is going to tell us the wonderful journey that Wilcox Limousines has been on. But just before she does, let me set the scene for you. So, Wilcox Limousines is where innovation meets family values. For 75 years, Wilcox has been at the forefront of innovation, offering luxury craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. Their commitment to excellence guarantees the finest products and services for funeral directors. As a third-generation family business, Wilcox cherishes its values and heritage, while also welcomes transformation in the modern business landscape. But enough from me. Let's hear from Jade herself. Jade, it's absolutely brilliant to have you on the show. Now, I need to know, why did Wilcox Limousines enter this category? And why is transformation excellence so important to you guys in what you do?
So transformation has been at the heart of what we've been doing since 2020 and a bit before 2020, actually. So obviously that marries nicely with transformation excellence. The reason we entered is because we're mad. No, the reason we entered is that Susanna Clark, who is now a BQF ambassador, worked with us on parts of our transformation project and suggested we enter. And I wasn't going to bother. We had loads of stuff to do because we're still in the middle of transformation. And then I just thought, oh, come on, if Susanna thinks, why don't you give it a go? And I'm really glad we did, because sometimes, and I've said to you before, sometimes I think, if we're excellent, what is bad?
Perspective.
But then that's part of quality improvement, isn't it? It's actually you start to measure what you need to do to improve, and you look and you suddenly go, oh my goodness gracious me, we have a lot of work to do.
But you've also done a lot of work. You think, like, what is excellence?
Yes, yeah. And so for us, what we've done is company-wide improvement program, started with strategy and then filtered out, and we've incorporated every department. So finance, sales, marketing, stores, procurement, production. And production is the bit that we've done the most with, but that's because where most of our staff are, because we are a coach builder, we produce hearses and limousines. So the bulk of our staff are focused on production, and we've introduced lean manufacturing principles while still trying to keep the heritage of coach building, really. We've set up a series of huddles, layers of communication, regular meetings, customer and employee newsletters. And then we've developed the systems to monitor rework, warranty, and we've mapped out thousands of processes. So there's a wall, and people might have seen it if they've seen me talk in a presentation. There is literally a wall of an office with all the processes that we do mapped out on them and how far we've got in getting those done, whether we've written the SOP, whether we've got the times, whether we've got the things behind it. So we've done that so that we can implement standard work, because coach building that we do is very niche, but it also is very much still in the handcrafted individuals stage. And I've said that for all our competitors as well. It's very much like that. So we've tried to implement standard work, but keep that handcrafting. What else have we done? A whole multidisciplinary IMP, so introduce new products process from the beginning to the end that incorporates sales, marketing, production. And I don't believe other people do it as well. They do. They might keep production and engineering as a silo, but they don't integrate the whole multidisciplinary team. So we've done that as well. And there's so much more. I could go on forever. Susanna will say we went overboard with what we've done. We just went in hard and we just, because we can as well.
Clearly it's worked.
Yeah, no, it has.
Transformation can be such a scary word for any organisation. Like it could sort of set the hairs on the back of your neck. How did entering the awards help with the process of transformation? Did it give you time to take stock and celebrate? What was the real bonus with it?
I think the bonus with it is that you get to evaluate what you're doing. You get to question yourself and go, well, is that good? Is that excellent? Okay, if that's not excellent, where are the gaps? What have you missed? It helps you really assess, and it helps you actually see when you've done a lot and you're in the middle of this change. It helps you see and go, actually, yeah, gosh, we've done loads. We've done this, and this, and helps you take stock of where you are from a different perspective.
Did you find with the transformational piece that it wasn't a direct path? You've had to take so many swerve different directions through the woods, hack your own path because it wasn't quite working. Have you had to duck and dive?
Oh gosh, yeah. When they do that images of the step change, people going up the stairs.
Yeah.
You're like in a spiral, gradually going up, but sometimes you plummet to the earth.
Yeah.
And then you might go up again,
It's like watching a puppy climb the stairs.
Yeah. Hopefully all the time just getting a little bit higher, but sometimes it just crashes and burns,
Yeah. What was the biggest challenge that you faced with it that comes to mind?
People. We've got people who've worked with us for 35 years. We've got, people that knew me, and I am no longer young, that knew me as a child.
Oh, wow.
And that is the hardest thing. And it's the kind of dark side of change, is that for some people, what I've realised, because I've always been a person, I'm very adaptable. All my professions before I joined the family business were very much change. So I'm very used to that. But for some people, they do not like change, and they will kick and scream and hide and lie and do anything they can within their power not to change, even when they seem to, or will pay lip service to the fact that they believe there's a need to change. And you can never see, it's all well and good when they say in books, well, what you need to do is get people to see the need to change. And then you talk to them about that, you do lots of work. They seem to communicate to you that they believe the need to change, but in their head, they are thinking something different. And you can't be in people's heads. You're not psychic, and you just have to go with it. And that's the hardest thing. And especially the people that you've worked, there's some people that we've lost within the business that we worked really closely with. And suddenly you get something, bam, and you think, actually, you've been paying lip service to this all this time. And it's emotionally quite, especially we're quite a small, we're only 80 odd people. We're quite a small business. We know most of our employees, some of them we don't know massively well because you can't know that many people well, but there's people that we know fairly well and you build up that trust with, and then suddenly something blindsides you and you think, you're not really on board with this, are you?
But it's an interesting dynamic, being a family business and being around for so long, that you've kind of grown up around some of the people, and then you're the one coming in there going sort of, look, I know you've done it this way for 30 years, but now we're going to change and we're transforming. That's a real difficult, that adds a whole new dimension to transformation.
Yeah, no, it does. And especially I am an interloper that's come in from the outside as well, and suddenly go,
an invader.
Yes, suddenly go, oh, by the way, hi, I'm here, and you're not doing that right.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's really hard.
Yeah, and it's hard, you have to acknowledge it's hard for them, and that's what we've tried to work with as a team, is to acknowledge to people this is hard. But if you don't change in the world, humans always have evolved and changed. We have to.
I was doing an episode of the Ever Celine podcast the other day with someone who talks about neuroscience. Really interesting. And they were telling me that as human beings, we've evolved in our practical sense quicker than our minds have evolved in the mental state. So, for example, we have the fight or flight reaction to change quite a lot of the time. Yet we're in an environment where change is around us. You know, we're involved in change 80% of the time, but only 70% of change ever lands and sticks.
Yeah.
Because our minds haven't caught up with the body. Do you know what I mean?
And it's probably actually true, isn't it? If you think about evolution and everything and think about we've spent the vast majority of our time is kind of prehistoric cave type things. And if something changes and something moves or something, that's dangerous, isn't it? It's supposed to set off alarm bells because that could be, if something's different, that might be dangerous. So I hadn't thought of it in that way before.
And the word transformation itself can be a bit misleading because the word makes it sound like it's instant. It happens straight away, but it's not. It's a really difficult long-term thing as well.
But you see, this is how my brain works. And then I go off and think, well, I wonder if because there's agricultural people that stuck in one place, didn't they? And then there was hunter-gatherers who wandered the earth. So I wonder if the people that are really good with change are the descendants of the hunter-gatherers, and the people that struggle with change are the ones that settled down and did agricultural kind of farming, shepherding, that kind of thing early on.
Yeah, I like how your brain works, Jade. We need to go on that TV show, the one where Danny Dyer found out he was related to royalty, where they look at your ancestry and they go back. And we need to find out. But it's true, though, because they're very much two divided camps, and some are more accepting of change than other people are. Well, there's studies been done around change as well, where they did some studies way back many years ago, and they looked at why change doesn't stick. Then they did some more studies 20 years later, and then they did some more studies after the Olympics and then after the COVID scenario. And the root causes of why change doesn't stick are exactly the same as they were 30, 40 years ago.
I'll have to go and look at them, because that's another thing we've noticed is with COVID, it has changed people's characteristics. It has changed what employees expect from you, but it's also changed employees. And I think it's changed people's productivity. I think it's lowered, all the studies say it's lowered productivity and it's lowered GDP and it's lowered that for a lot of places.
Obviously, you must have a multi-generational workforce being around for so long. Do you find that there's a divide in how transformation is accepted between different generations?
Yes, some, not all, definitely not all of the older generation have struggled with it. But then not all of them have. Some of the big advocates have been the ones. So it's just down to personalities, really.
Very interesting. Now, I need to ask you, Jade, but you are the reigning champions. Will you be returning to defend your crown in next year's UK Excellence Awards? And can you give us a sneak peek into what you're planning?
I haven't a clue.
Good answer.
I haven't a clue whether we will. Obviously, now I kind of think we need to. Now you said that,
defend it, haven't you?
We're still very much at the moment. We're focused on consolidating what we've done, consolidating and refining it. And there's a lot of implementing a lot more systems in there, as in IT type systems and structure to help us with the data that then helps you plan, do, study, act, because you can't really do it without data. Mm-hmm. And we've also just dragged in, not screaming and kicking, she voluntarily joined us, our cousin, into the business, and she's got a lot of experience with systems and data, and she's got a financial background. So we'll see where that leads us. But it does make a difference because there was third generation and there was three of us. Bring that extra person in who's a family member. There's a different dynamic when it's yours. You know, our grandparents came from nothing. I didn't realise until after my grandmother had died. But she left her Welsh mining village at 14. I look at my 14-year-old now and I'm like, can't imagine just sending my 14-year-old off out into the world.
Different world.
I know. And they just literally, they did come from nothing. And so obviously you get that passion in you that's different, I think, to when it's not their legacy, your legacy.
Yeah.
So bringing her in, already we can see she came in December and we can already see a massive difference. So let's see what the future brings.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Everceline Extra. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of the UK Excellence Awards. To learn more about the UK Excellence Awards and what it means to be a BQF member, visit www.bqf.org.uk. Don't forget, you can catch more episodes of the Everceline podcast on all major platforms or at everceline.com. Whether you're seeking insights into leadership, continuous improvement, or simply looking to be inspired, we've got you covered. Until next time, stay excellent. Everceline Extra is researched, recorded and produced by Matt Sims. Visit everceline.com to find out more.
The Everceline podcast.
Extra!
You know it makes sense.